Hello, welcome back to our Getting Data course. We have talked about load local data and database into our Python data analysis tool, Pandas, in the last two videos. In this video, we are going to talk about how can we get data from open platform with open API. Massive data on the Twitter, Facebook, and other equivalent products are extremely useful. For example, some people can predict the presidential election with those data, or for marketing prediction, or users' preference, or even sentimental mining, which means that public emotion regarding certain products or events. It turns out those predictions based on massive data are much more accurate than the traditional surveying. For example, when a famous Chinese movie actor getting divorced because he has an affair, the sentimental money shows his fan will actually feel happy about that, even though it is unfair to his wife. Traditional survey almost impossible can predict such kind of results because they do not have such huge amount of data, and people tend to not tell the truth when they fill survey forms in most of cases. Today, I will start from a Chinese open platform called Sina Weibo. It is equivalent to Twitter in China. I will show you how can we call the open APIs and get data from it in this video. And I will show you how can we implement with Python in next video. And of course, we will demonstrate how can we do something about Twitter, get data from Twitter with open API offered by Twitter as well. Okay, first let's just go to the Sina Weibo document, open platform. As you can see, here the document is in Chinese. For those who are not Chinese speaker, there is an English document over here. But you will see the document is not as complete as a Chinese version, so I highly recommend still use the Chinese version. If you do not know how to read in Chinese, you can use Google Translate. As you can see, I did the Getting Started page over here. This is like a Getting Started guide, and you can use Google Translate to do that. Even though the translation not perfect, but it's still readable. Okay. In order to get data from the Sina Weibo platform, you have to register to be a Sina Weibo developer, which is you're going to click this one, and after you click, and it's going to be this page, and I've translated in English over here. And they have screenshot over here, so you can basically just follow step by step so that you can become a developer of Sina Weibo. After you have registered to be developer on Sina Weibo, before your application is completed, you can use this test tool or test API to play with the Sina Weibo API. It's pretty much same the real API. So let me show you how can we do that. I'm going to open over here, and if you do not have this access token yet, you should click over here and to get it. And then simply here I'm going to read some Weibo over here, so I will just click this one so that we can get those Weibo over here. Okay, now here it can show how can we request those data from the server with the API. Now here I'm going to use a tool called HTTP Requester. It's a plugin of Firefox. I really like it. If you want to install this one, you just go add-on and search this plugin and then just click install. That's all. It is really easy to install. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one over here and paste over here. And there are some parameters over here, actually just one. So this is the access token. This is the, and we give the value. over here and add this parameter. Now we can do the request with a get method as over here. So we will say get is 200 and OK, which means the response is successfully. And we get the result. This is a JSON file, as you can see over here. After we got this JSON response result, we can copy the response content to do some basic read or analyze. Here I'm going to copy it to our PyCharm IDE so that we can read it more convenient. Here I'm going to create a new file and say test.json and paste the result over here. As you can see, it's just one line, so we can select all the JSON code and format the code. Now it become pretty convenient to read. As you can see, here we have the first Weibo says 菲菲生日快乐 means happy birthday to 菲菲. Now when we send the request, we basically just use the default. What if we want to get the second page Weibos, or we want to get more rather than just 20? Here as you can see, the default is 20. So what if you want to get more? I mean 20 is far from enough. So in this case, we will back to the document. As you can see over here, you can click and try to get the document. I'm going to say over here, this is the parameters of this document. Here we can say we can get 15 rather than just 20. And the default page is 1. You can add more, like you want to get the second page, the third page, the fourth page until you think it's enough. Here we're going to change, let's say 13. We will use the same tool. And another parameter, let's call it count. And in this case, maybe we will say 15. Add it and send the request again. Here we got it. In this case, let's see how many Weibo we get. As we already see over here, actually we got a 15. Let's copy all of the content into our PyCharm. Now go select all and format. The reason we format this document is it's much more convenient to read for a human, so we know how can we pass this file. You can try with other parameters, like you can say you want to get the second page, but for the public test, I'm not sure the second page is available or not. But let's give it a try. Successfully. See? There's no second page over here, but for the real API, which you only can use them after your register is complete, you can go over here, see the document, the API, and the parameters. How can we use it? For example, here we are going to get the Weibo, and let's just click over this API. As you can see, there are many parameters available that you can choose, and for example, in this case, I'm sure you can get more than one page, so you can iterate the data until it's finished. To count in the test API, the maximum is 15, but here is 100. To use the real API is much more professional, and you can get much more data. Okay, that's all for a try with this kind of tool, and in the next video I'm going to show you how can we implement those behavior. For example, we will use Python to send the HTTP request, and once we got those kind of data, we will pass with Python and load into pandas, or even can persist them into our database. See you in next video.